Welcome everybody to the Homeplace Beer 150 tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway for the Elite iRacing Series, Xfinity Series. I say that because, Vic, next season we're going Cup racing, but we can talk about that later in the night. For now, tonight we're at Bristol, obviously. High banks, half mile in the daytime. I think we're going to see a little bit of tire wear, going to be slick on corner exit. And based on some practice, probably a lot of dead race cars. So other than the fact that Bristol's going to Bristol, Vic, what are we looking for here tonight?
You know, I don't know what we're looking for tonight, and we were talking pre-race here, actually, while they were practicing, or finishing practicing or qualifying, whatever, either way. So we were talking, and we were like, you know, I bet that there's going to be probably 10's going to be the most caution count we'll see tonight. Of course, you know, that's my guess. Justin said 7, which should be entertaining. So I think the caution's probably going to be the talk of this, but I do think that we'll have some great racing. These guys seem to put on a show every week, and the last few weeks we've had some amazing races at tracks that don't produce amazing racing at. So I think, honestly, the on-track action is what I would say. Obviously, for the obvious part there, would be what you want to watch. But, yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of, like, the guys that start in the rear. We haven't gone through the starting grid yet, but the guys that start in the rear, I think, are going to probably work their way through the field, barring any track blockages.
I was just going to say, actually, the biggest thing we see here at Bristol, it usually goes one of two ways. The first way is that guys have trouble with the track and self-spin and end up parked in the racing groove, hitting the wall or something. And the other one is, like, stuff goes on and people literally just have huge pile-ups. Like, there's just crash after crash after crash. Track is blocked. Every car is damaged. So we'll have to see which one we get tonight.
Yeah, actually, as they're rolling, we should look at our starting grid for this evening. And we have Chad Frankenfield starting on pole, side by... let me try this again. Chad Frankenfield on pole, Andrew Rucker on second, Josh Furr, Logan Shea. Logan Shea making his, I think, season debut this season at this race. Stephen McGough, Josh Robin, Josh Adams, Robert Hill Jr., Jeff Gross or whatever, and Joe Torres, who made his debut last week. I'll let you get the next 10, because I know there's a bunch.
Peter Hayward is going to roll off 11th. Brandon Key, last week's winner after that controversial finish at Texas, is going to be 12th. Kyle Osentowski, David Weston Green making his debut tonight. Ethan Burrell, a little further back than we've seen him in 15th. Cody McCorkle, another debut. Scott Haney, tonight's race sponsor, so thanks to him. Jason Cameron Jr., Joshua Clark, and Rusty Capel are going to round out top 20.
Yeah, and you got Jeremy Yancey making his season debut. Chris Hill, Jacob Evanson, Ethan Riesener, who many people in this league might know as Mega Driver. Shane DiMantova, Brent Jones, rounding out the field this evening.
I'm going to call him Mega every time, so if I say Mega, I'm referring to the 86 car.
Well, I mean, here, I don't think he's, never mind, it's not going to let me show him. But yeah, the name on his car says it all, so. The green flag is out, and they get going, they launch.
Jump for Chad. Rucker's going to jump to the inside, try to make the bottom work. 3 wide behind them, back at about 10th spot.
Should go to farther out of view so that people can see. Yeah, they're side by side. Of course, this is a short track, so they're going to be side by side most of tonight. Which will be
these laps are gonna click off, Vic.
Yeah, you got 150 of them, 150 for the Homeplace Beer 150. Of course, it's huge, as you said, you know, huge thanks to Scott Haney in that 3 car for sponsoring this race. I believe next season in one or both of the series that we'll talk about probably a bit later, he's sponsoring races, and so.
The point here, Vic, well, I'm thinking about it. Lap cars are going to be a factor. We're looking back at Brent Jones back running in 23rd right now out of the 24 cars that started the race. He is just now leaving turn number 4, while Chad Frankenfield is already leaving turn number 2. So we're going to get lap traffic here probably about 20 laps in, and it's going to be a factor all night, even on the medium-sized runs here that we get.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you right there. It's just lap traffic, of course, it's short track. It's always going to play a factor. I'm not going to lie, I don't know where to look right now on track because there's action everywhere. They haven't wrecked yet, so that's good.
Yeah. I was just saying that we got some guys back at about 10th, 15th spot that were just going at it a little bit ago. They've settled out for the time being, but we had some great battles for about 12th spot there for a second. 5 different lines I'm seeing being used right now. It's amazing how much these guys are finding speed everywhere just based on where you're comfortable right now.
Yeah, and of course, don't mind the fact that I'm trying to cycle through the field, but like I don't know where to focus right now.
It's like we got a battle up with might be Kyle Santosky. Oh, Kyle. Actually, that was the 29 car, Torres, that was in the wall there off of turn 4. Of course, he's brand new to this iRacing Elite Series, so a little bit of a harsh welcome call getting the fence early here tonight.
Yeah, I believe Joe is one of their people that came over from PlayStation, so... I mean, they're side by side up front. Josh Adams taking the lead, I believe, here. He's going to get him off of 4.
He's going to clear him. Oh, Chad's going to cross back under and have to really work hard on the inside. It's going to be tough, though. The 88 was really, really strong for that short run. Oh, Chad's trying to squeeze in there. Burr's just going to close the door a little bit. Burr's up in the wall, actually, on the entry to 3. Exit, though, Chad's going to have to give him a spice again. The outside's really rolling, but great job by the 88 car to roll the bottom, figure out how to take a little bit of time, but make the pass for the lead. We're going to try the inside on Chad now. Got a good exit off of turn 3. We got someone that just slid in the back. Yep. It was actually the 37 car. No, it was not. I apologize.
I believe it's a 51.
Yep, 92 car and a couple other guys got involved right there.
Yeah, I'll try to get a replay.
It started with
Oh yeah,
Santosky.
the 21 and 51 got together after, and just everybody piled in. As of course we alluded to earlier, it's going to be hard for anybody to avoid an incident tonight.
Extremely hard to avoid incidents, and it's just everything happens so fast. You're in the corners, you're going so fast. It's hard to see around the banking that I think we'll see a lot of guys, have issues trying to avoid wrecks.
Yeah, they come down pit lane. These are going to be some short caution laps, if I'm not mistaken. There's not really much time for caution laps. I think they.
I'm surprised. Looks like basically everybody's staying out right here, which we only did about 13 laps. If you're in the back of the pack, I'm surprised you wouldn't roll the dice here and try something new just because you can.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody pitted, so.
A couple of guys had issues with their pit stalls, whether it be accidentally entering on the front stretch when they're pit on the back stretch or something like that. Mega was one of them. So they're going to come back in here down the back stretch. Of course, huge disadvantage to have to pit on the back stretch here.
Yeah, I believe Mega Driver and so we got Reasoner and I believe a few others are.
Jones is in there. Yancey was in there as well.
I'm trying to figure out who.
Get a Yancey. That is not the real number 4. I'd like to make that very clear. So we're going to have him executed post-race, but for the time being, he's 4.
Well, now that we've got a couple laps under our belt, Justin, how do you think this race is actually going to turn out? Now that we know how they're racing side by side with one another, it's completely hard to keep up with all the action on track. It's almost impossible, actually, to keep up with all the action on track.
Yeah, I forget exactly what your question was, but I think we're going to see more of the same. As we saw right there, Joshua M. started in 7th spot, and he was able to drive to the lead in just about 10 laps. So Cody McCorkle's made up about a handful of spots, as well as some other guys, and a couple of guys have gone backwards. So I think that we're going to find some moving lanes. I think everybody was starting to migrate towards the middle to the top, but as the track temp cools down a little bit here, it's currently at 99. I think Burrell asked what the track temp was. I think we're going to see some guys move around a little bit, but I think that long run, you're still going to have to be up against the wall just as the tires wear out.
Yeah, I never show the weather. We had a past broadcaster for this league that had an obsession with the weather, so. It was an unsafe one and unhealthy by all means.
Let's not put the standings up on this. Let's put the weather as it changes.
I'm just not I mean, I'm not completely opposed to people doing it. It's just I don't like it. Personal preference.
Oh, it's not really relevant for us as broadcasters or the fans. I mean, we're going to watch the product, whatever it is. We don't have to change the way we talk just based on the weather like these guys have to change how they drive. So I understand putting it up there to make it realistic and understand what they're looking at as a track temp. But as far as changes and stuff like that, it doesn't really have a lot of impact on us up here.
No, yeah, the weather's just irrelevant to broadcasters. So sorry about that.
Oh,
I don't even
I
have
mean,
a program to work, so that tells you how little I care about it. Anyway, green flag back in the air. Josh Adams gets about a car length jump.
I wouldn't say actually, Vic, that the weather is irrelevant because you and I got some nice like 65-degree weather today. So obviously summer is here, and we're gonna broadcast naked next week.
Oh, you're not broadcasting naked this week?
No, I was missing out on the peanut butter sandwich theory.
Oh man, now I feel left out. Now I feel like now I feel odd. Jeez. I'm just kidding. I'm broadcasting my boxers. Irrelevant anyway. The 95 side by side with the 03 right now.
Is he going to be able to clear him? That was a good move by Robert Hill. If he can get off the corner, he might be able to slide him here into turn 3. You really get one shot. You get to make one good corner on the bottom with the run you get, and you really got to clear the guy in the next lap or so. Or you're going to get hung out down there and lose some of the momentum. And unless you can really hook the bottom, you're going to be having a hard time clearing guys with the momentum that they get off the top side.
Yeah, and it's a good battle here for 6th and 7th between the 03 of Logan Shea and 95 of Robert Hill Jr. Don't know if I'm supposed to say junior there or not, but either way. I believe Yancey might have hit the wall off 2.
But no, okay. Yancey, I love you, man. Stephen McGowan, it looks like, had some damage. He started up at the front bed serving EOL. He's just leaving the pit lane. He's a couple of laps down, actually about 20 laps down already. So unfortunate for him after the good qualifying run tonight. 03 is going to finally clear Robert Hill for 6th spot, I believe that is. Yes, it is. Jeff Gross, love the paint scheme. One of the court guys coming over in the Jif Peanut Butter number 10 car. So that's a good looking scheme. Obviously pretty hard to miss that one.
Yeah, as I say, I know a number of guys that are in court that are here tonight. We got the 10, the 95, 59, and the 44 for sure. Shane D. Mantova, I think, having issues, or maybe just getting on track with an old paint scheme. Very old paint scheme.
Like Robin is trying to get up around Rucker. Rucker might be holding these guys up just a little bit, but unless you get a really big run, it's tough to make a pass, especially once tires start wearing out. It's really hard to roll the bottom, so he might be stuck there until Andrew either makes a mistake or he gets a really good run or something happens on the pit stop, because right now it's just going to be way too hard to get that momentum and make it basically a slide job like we saw a couple weeks ago.
You're lagging a little bit. Yeah, but as you're saying, it's going to be a bit hard. And I mean, I'm not opposed to showing these two cars that he's between, because I mean, like, this week they have new paints, and I was the one that painted them. So.
It's Robert Hill again trying the inside on Logan Shea.
Yeah, he's just too far. I think right now he's just too far back to make that move work.
Oh, almost contact back with Joshua Clark, I think that is, and Scott Haney. They're going to sort all that out. They're going around Stephen McGowan, I think is why that happened. Almost a mess back there about halfway through the pack, but like I said, these guys are already about 3/4 of a lap down, you know, running in the top 15. So very quickly things happen. If we get too long of a run here, it's going to be an issue. Oh, two-car might have had an issue right there. I don't know what happened with him and Rucker.
Yeah, I was watching him pass Rucker, and then he just, I think he slowed up off before. He thought he was going to hit the wall, and he's back between the 64 and 00 now.
Well, there you go. All the hard work is gone.
Yeah, when you cost yourself. I believe the closest battle, like, toward a top position is with Rusty Capel, a little farther back in the field, so.
Pretty spread out, but Scott Haney still trying to make the outside of Rusty Capel work. Like you said, almost gets up in the fence right there. Yeah, of course, the leaders are closing in on them.
Yeah, we got the 2. He's still trying to work over Rucker.
Be tough, especially as we get rolling here. It's going to be really tough, and he made it work obviously once, but couldn't complete the pass. There's a chance.
Yeah. I was say, if you actually look at the back, the taillights of Rucker and Furr compared to the taillights of Robin, you can see the difference in paint scheme preferences there.
Only you would figure these things out.
Only I would know, actually, because I was the one that put the the paint together for the 64 and 00, so I would
It
know.
does look high tech, I'll give you that.
Yeah, well, it's the 2019 Mustang Cup taillights for the Mustang.
iRacing, get your crap together.
Well, I mean, I don't hate the old ones. Just I like the new ones.
I'm with you.
Either way, back
So now
to
Joshua Adams is in the lap traffic.
Yeah, I was looking and I could see that somebody was near somebody. Yeah, it was Adams near the 44 of
Big cluster here.
whoever. I don't remember his last name. Sorry.
Mega Scott Haney.
Mega driver getting lap cautions out.
A yellow flag. Someone
No,
had incident
that's
somewhere.
44. I believe it is the 10 car.
Yes, it is on the front stretch.
See if we can get a replay. Yeah, he's. By the time I got to him, he was already spun around on the front stretch. But yeah, he's still there. He's parked up. So now we're expecting what, like 15 lap green flag runs? You think, Justin? I think that's fair.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I think that's a fair thing to say.
So we'll see tires come in again. Obviously, everybody's going to come in again. I think it's interesting that we're doing about 15 laps. Sometimes in B-Fix, it's such a crap fest that you see guys do like 30 or 40 laps even on tires just to try to, stay out of the mess being up front. But we're not seeing that tonight.
Well, I think after last week, people might be a little scared to stay out. I say that, but Brent Jones, I believe, is going to stay out.
He may come back, though, because he was towards the tail end and didn't want to get lapped by the pace car making a pit stop, so he might come back in.
Never mind. He pits on the backstretch. I stand corrected. However, Mega Driver, he might be pulling that strategy you're talking about because he was a bit far back.
Mega had just gotten lapped, so he might be the lucky dog. Wave round one of the two. Because he had just gotten lapped right when that caution came out.
I do believe he should be the lucky dog, maybe?
He hadn't been lapped yet, I apologize. He's about to get lapped, and he might be staying out, or he might be waiting to come to pit road again so he didn't get lapped. Yep, he's coming in.
So yeah, he'll get his first career lap led right there in the iRacing series. Of course, a lot of people know Ethan Reasoner as Mega Driver 86, sorry. From PlayStation, and actually he was in contention for the eNASCAR Heat Pro League draft, so he was one of the top 50 drivers, or top 25, I don't remember how many drivers there was.
No comment from me.
Yeah, we have differing opinions on these type of events.
That's not what I wanted. Jeez.
Literally me when I change the camera angle.
I was just trying to scroll through my options of what's going on, and basically just canceled my whole face.
Sounds right.
Apologize for that.
So I'd throw it to commercial, but I don't have any. And I don't
advertise ourselves.
Yeah, well, I don't have one of those either, so.
Oh.
We could do under the next question. We could talk about the future plans for this league.
But I don't have anything to talk about right at this moment for that. We only have about 20 seconds, so I'm just going to say Elite iRacing Series, good series. Fun Truck Sim Series, good series.
Okay, yeah.
Speed with Attitude Motorsports, not a good series.
Okay. We're going to get yelled at
where
for
you
that
want
later.
to be.
Anyway, Josh Adams is getting ready to lead them off on this restart. He's basically going to go on pace car. Did that pace car leave tire marks on the track? That's funny. That's different. I've never noticed that before until now. That it left tire marks.
What? Have you noticed?
The pace car leaves tire marks on the racetrack when it pulls off.
It makes a hard left
net
turn.
code.
09 is loving the performance of the Ford Mustang, so he'd like to leave some rubber out there with us.
Yeah, it's weird. Yellow flag's back out in the air.
Hold to death.
don't know where the caution is going to be. Thought I spotted it, and I haven't.
Let's see, I was looking at Rucker trying to get in line.
I think the 44 might have been involved in something, but I cannot say for sure. And it's going to be
It looked like he just went a lap down, so that would be my guess.
Well, he was on pit road when I went to him. So I don't know.
Interesting, maybe he had to tow or something.
No, he was driving onto pit road.
Oh.
It's weird. Anyway, so yeah, now we have some time here. We should, we're about a third of the race in. I think we can talk about the next season-ish thing, the big plans we have for Elite. Of course,
Big Cadillacs?
Okay. Anyway, so
not Cadillacs.
In the fall, we're not going to talk about the Cadillacs. In the fall, though, this series here that you're watching will become the Elite at Mega Driver 86 series, and
Mega.
they will remain in Xfinity cars with a $5 entry fee standard, just like this year. And then on Wednesday nights, the JoinAPS will be sponsoring the Wednesday night series, which will be the Elite JoinAPS Cup Series, and that will be on Primetime TV, or Primetime Racing TV, PTR TV. So, with that being said, of course, that leads the whole broadcasting thing. As far as Mondays go, to my knowledge, and to I think the knowledge that we've both been told, Justin, we'll be doing it part-time.
We're going to be doing some of them. We don't have to worry about conflicts with me driving or people not being here or anything else. We can kind of pick and choose the exciting races and hit those ones for sure, and give the guys in this series a bang for their buck. And obviously, you're going to be running the Cup Series and winning everything there. So we're going to have some good things in the works. But I think everybody should definitely tune in for it. Come out and join it, of course. If you're an iRacer, come out and be a part of the action. We have already 20-plus guys signed up, and we're still several months out from that series starting up. So. Big things going on for Elite.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got informed today that May 1st will be, these drivers get to, is when we'll probably we'll start the whole entry for Cup and Xfinity next season. And of course, the first race, technically first race, is August 28th, and it's a clash for the Cup Series. And the first race for the Mega Driver Series is September 2nd, and that's at Lucas Oil Raceway.
Oh my goodness. I must have missed that.
Yeah, I'm actually looking
I'm
looking at the schedule, and it looks like it'll be Lucas Oil, Pocono, then Richmond, then Sebring, ISM, Twin Ring, Tsukuba, Charlotte, Chicagoland, Michigan, Daytona, and then their chase starts for that, and it'll be Watkins Glen, Kansas, Martinsville, Auto Club, Iowa, Atlanta, and Homestead. And that's the Mega Driver Series. Of course, we'll talk about the Cup Series under next caution. But I do think what you said was correct, that people should try joining this series. That yes, there's an entry fee, but all the entry fee goes toward the broadcast, and any surplus the league does not keep. It goes straight back into the league as prizes or as sponsorship money in some way, shape, or form. Everything is put back into this league one way or another.
Obviously, everybody should sign up for iRacing. There are a lot of great coupon codes, and come out and join the action. I'm just excited to see the Xfinity cars go to great tracks like Scuba.
Scuba Steve. Yeah, green flag back in the air, and we got Josh Adams side by side with Chad Frankenfield. My stuff is lagging a little bit, and I don't know why.
Looks all right here. Looks like Chad's going to try the crossover. Good restart there by Adams. He didn't get rolling initially real well, but was able to make the move off of turn 2 and get clear of Chad. He's going to go back to the bottom, actually. Feels like the bottom might hook up like I thought it would for a little bit. Robin's trying to roll on him. Actually, we got Robert Hill rolling the outside line to restart on the outside of Rucker. He's trying to get the 4th spot.
Yeah,
They're really struggling on the bottom.
Actually watching the battle, and Ethan Burrell behind them is getting by Logan Shea. Caution.
Another yellow's out. Oh, it's the 44 and the 92 again. Damage on the 92.
Yeah, I believe there's a tow taken there by the 92. It's unfortunate.
interesting. We're going to see some split strategies here as far as pit road. A lot of guys missed the commitment cone, actually. I'm not sure if that's a thing on iRacing, the orange cone.
No, it's the yellow one.
Several guys just missed that with a late pit call, but we're going to have enough guys stay out that they're going to restart probably outside the top 5 for sure, maybe outside the top 10.
Yeah, and actually, so as I said, under this caution, we're going to talk about a little bit about the Cup Series. I think there's a $25 entry fee. Don't quote me on that.
But that gets you in both series.
Okay, yeah, then it's just $20 for the Cup Series. Then. Okay.
It's 25, but it's 25 to get in Cup, but you get to run Xfinity as well. So it's still 25 anyways, but you might as well show up for the Xfinity races because that gets you into all the prizes and stuff for the top 10 in points.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of prizes, and I don't have the information. 1 second, let me pull it up.
I think it's like 50, 30, 20, 10,
yeah,
and then 9, 8, 7, 6.
It's 50, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 9, 8, 6, or 8, 7, 6, yeah. And the winner of the Xfinity Series, of course, gets a free charter, free entry.
I forgot about that.
So it does pay off to show up in this series. Of course, 2020, there's bigger things that are going on, and we probably won't be broadcasting, to my knowledge, we probably won't be broadcasting this series anymore.
We haven't exactly figured out. Obviously, that's a while in the future, like 7 months. We got a whole series to go through before then, but I think a lot of big things are in the work, and I think we're going to see a lot of expansion. And obviously, Vic, not to be a sore subject, but you and I think, do a good job for what we do up here, but we are definitely by no means professional, and I know that you enjoy driving, and I enjoy, driving and being an admin as much as we do this. It was kind of a late thing that we threw together a couple seasons ago to do this, but I think that it'll be good to move to a couple professional broadcasters and really help Elite go bigger and bigger and, kind of free us up to do other things within the league and support other ways. So it's a good thing for the league as a whole. Obviously, I'm going to miss being up here with you every week, but we're definitely still going to be around here.
Yeah, we'll probably still have, I'll probably still stream from my in-car onto this channel, because I'll still drive with the DSP logo on the car, because that's just how I work.
We got our meet and greet. That'll be on this channel.
Yeah, when that happens, I wasn't gonna announce that. I was just gonna kind of let that be a thing that happened. But yeah.
No. I mean like your meet.
Cool. Anyway.
That wasn't where I
don't know what to say back to that. But as you said, yeah, it's gonna be very nice to be driving in Elite again. It's gonna be great as a broadcaster. I mean, I love broadcasting, but of course, like you said, it's going to be nice to see this league with professional broadcasters, because by no means are we that.
I like what we do, but again, like you said, we don't have the high-tech stuff that some of the better companies do, so Elite will benefit from that.
Yeah, Josh Adams goes early.
Scott Haney did not go at all on the inside line, about the 5th row. A lot of guys got stacked up there.
Yeah, and that Homeplace beer company car, tonight's sponsor. Of course. My stuff is lagging and I don't know why. I'd fix it, but I don't actually know how to.
All right.
No, it's fine. It's just it's like stuttering a little bit. It's fine. Jeff Gross is gonna be the caution. I didn't see what happened. I just see that I saw that he was the one that was stopped. And it is going to be contact with 0-3 and the 15.
Everybody's checking up big time, having to restart a couple rows behind the 3 car there. So I'm sure he was on the move, and incidents happen.
Yep. I'm gonna chuck it to the ERL crash promo thing. So we'll be back. And we're back here as I get ready to go back to green. Josh Adams going to restart first, as he has done the entire night.
I guess that's true. Just trying to think back. I don't remember if someone ever beat him off, but I guess that's true.
Wrong words to use. Green flag back in the air. It's a good jump, of course, on board here with Andrew Rucker, just to get a different view of that restart.
Here comes the 2. Adams just got in the wall just a little bit. Rucker's going to get tight on the inside. It's going to allow Hill to get up to the 3rd spot. To roll the inside line, a little bit of gap behind them back to the 4 car. To say that. Ow. Oh, the 4's up in the wall just a little bit. Here comes McCorkle. Thought about taking an inside look. Back there at about 6th spot with Peter Hayward.
Is it Hayward?
A lot of contact. Oh, Mantova just punted the 29 car. Being just absolutely jacked up. Poor Joe right there.
Sure,
looks like everybody's going to get away with it for the time being.
Sure, that's not sitting well in that camp. I think everybody is single filed out, except for Fur.
Burrell's working the bottom, but everybody else is pretty much singled out right now.
Yeah, I think we've got all the damaged cars basically in the rear, and
here comes Hayward on the inside of Clark. Haven't called Clark's name tonight. Started back in 19th, a little bit of pit strategy. He's up in the top 10.
Yeah, actually, we're going to ride on board with, because everybody likes some onboard action. We're going to ride on board with Ethan Burrell here as he passes Peter Hayward.
They got back to the outside line, Burrell did right there.
Yeah, he's able to make that pass successfully in the 0-3. Everybody else is passing now.
Everybody pretty much back single file now as we've run a couple laps here.
We got Chad Frankenfield making a move on Jeff Gross. I'm going to call him Gross because I don't want to be that guy.
Peanut butter is gross. Oh, Jeff's in the wall a little bit there. Might have thought Chad was coming up.
Well, we could talk about the fact that your teammate wanted to do something with peanut butter earlier. But again, we're not professional, and I don't think that they would approve of us saying that.
Ethan, I love you, but nope.
Speaking
Actually,
of
a little
Ethan,
bit surprised.
Speaking of Ethan, he's actually making a move right now on the 0-0 of Fur, and the 0-3 just clips the wall a little bit. That was hilarious.
Another +1 right there for Burrell. Moved him up to the 8th spot. Looks like Logan Shea, is going to try to follow on the outside line. He's way up towards top 5, even though he told me he hit the wall in qualifying. Burrell did, and had to start back in the 15th spot, and had a little bit of weird pit strategy, but I think he's going to be a little quicker than 28 in the 4, and just a matter of time before he finds a way by these guys in that good-looking fantasy dominoes face game.
Yeah, I painted that in like 10 minutes earlier.
It's good. Of course, the Domino's employee delivering pizza to people like you and I late at night when we're watching iRacing.
Yeah, well, except for the matter of fact that I don't eat pizza. So.
I don't really eat pizza either, but I mean,
well, I mean,
they have wings there too.
You're allowed to eat pizza. You know, you need the calories. I don't eat pizza because I don't like the taste of it.
A CF joke.
No.
Just making sure.
I mean, yes, but no.
Looks like this whole line of cars is going to roll around the outside of the 4-car Jeremy Yancey. Unfortunately, look at that. I mean, all the way back through Shane D. Mantova, back at about 12th spot behind Peter Hayward. They're not going to be able to let him back in line, and they're certainly going to pick up the spot. Oh, the 9-car got in the wall really hard.
There's going to be that opening right there. He just needs to get behind the 0-0.
Chooses not to. Burrell's trying to make the bottom work, and does on the 28. There with those guys now just stacking up behind the 28 and the 03. Looks like Shea might clear as well. He's going to pull up in front. Everybody has to jam on the brakes. Making me nervous.
This is where the action's going to happen at, right here. This bunch of cars that we're watching.
From Logan Shea almost resulted in a disaster off of turn 4. He just didn't quite have the momentum and pulled up in front of the 28 car, Clark. Shane DiMantova in the 20 car up in the middle of this is quite a few laps down, about 20 laps down, so he is not for position, but still racing with these guys. Keep that in mind. Car is going to pull the same move right there. This is great racing.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Loving this, these guys, you know, damage and different tires and so on, just creating, you know, a little bit of a roadblock, and it's enough that some of the faster cars are having to really move around and search for grip to be able to clear these guys, and it's making for some great racing. Who makes a little bit of ground one corner might lose it back the next corner. Pretty wide right there. Shane was up to the outside of the 00. Back down to that. They're going to sort that all out. Double wide back there. Going to sort it out for the most part. Rusty Capel got a little bit tight there off turn 4. Chad's going to go to his inside. Good spot. Still trying to work on his 28. I think Clark is pretty heavily damaged right now. It looks like he's really struggling, even though he's got the outside line. And these guys are slowly but surely getting runs and picking him off one by one.
Yeah, of course, there's cloud cover right now, so these guys probably very much loving that.
Track temp just dropped about 3 degrees. Of course, you carry more corner speed. That's actually not a great thing here at Bristol to be on the inside. You're pretty tight down there on corner exit anyways, but you're definitely going to struggle big time if you got that on the inside lane, and it gets a little bit tighter than usual trying to go around somebody. Watching up for the lead, Josh Robin is keeping Josh Adams, Josh Racing League, of course. He's keeping him honest up at the front of this field, only about 2/10 gap, car length and a half right now. They're going to get into some lap traffic here in about the next 5 or so laps, and they're both running the bottom at 1 and 2 right now. We're going to see where these guys go to go around some lap cars. Looks like a couple guys are really struggling. Brandon Key and the 44 of Westergreen up in front of them. They're going to try to get out of the way, but
Key going to do a great job of that.
I've been trying to work the inside, can't make it happen off of turn 2 yet.
And we got Chad Frankenfield is making us just stomping his way through the field. He has passed 4 cars in the last 2 laps.
He's so far behind. Obviously, he's got a fast car, just got a little bit of damage, but his problem's going to be track position, because even if you get a yellow now, everybody's going to pit. It's been about 30 laps, and obviously if he comes back out even with about 2 or 3 more spots, he's going to be 6, and those front guys are going to pull away at least a couple of seconds before he gets some clear racetrack. So his problem isn't really speed right now. It's that he lost all his track position on that pit stop and then the crash.
Yep, I completely agree with you. See Robert Hill going side by side with the 44 as he laps him. Trying to find a battle
with,
here on track.
Josh Robin.
Yeah, Josh Robin, though, he's always super impressive.
I mean, obviously he's got the speed. We've seen it week in and week out here. He's up at the top 5 in the points this far in the first half of the season, but I'm more impressed with his run here, Josh Adams. I thought Josh Adams was going to have a really great race car. We saw it last week. He was my pick to win. We didn't make picks tonight, but he's always a pretty safe bet. But the 2 car has found something down on the very bottom of the racetrack and is keeping the same pace, if not even a little bit quicker than the 88 car right now.
I mean, you're talking about him making pace down the bottom. I was just watching Chad Frankenfield. He just made a great pass, 1 corner on the bottom over the 0-3. He's stopping his way through the field, man. And
he's
the 00
definitely
going to try
moving.
to attempt to do the same thing.
A little bit tight. Oh, the 4 car slid up in the front there. He's going to come right back up in front of these guys. Hope he holds it down. Good job by Yancey there. He was up at 7, so there's another spot for Chad. Great save by Jeremy.
Got a gaggle of cars going on in the back there. Just a load of
It's
them.
back at about, what, 9th place, 10th place?
Yeah, we got from 8th to a while back. There's a bunch of them. It's just
About 14th, I guess, 13th.
Yeah, it's something like that. 13th technically, but there's more cars involved in that than lead lap cars.
The move for the lead, a little bit of lap traffic, going to get in Adams' way, 3 wide into turn 1.
Yeah, of
Going
course.
to clear Scott Haney there.
Yeah, Scott Haney's the race sponsor here. Homeplace Beer 150 at Bristol Motor Speedway.
They're 50 to go. We mentioned it earlier, Vic. These laps, just about 16, maybe a little over 16 seconds. They're going to click off fast. 50 laps just about is going to take basically 15 minutes. Goes another good run through the center of the corner for Robin. It's just that exit speed. You can't quite make it work, but you got to stay committed to it because eventually it might happen if the 88 slips just a little bit in traffic.
You know what I'm wondering is if he's trying to hold it down too far on exit. If he could slide up.
See, there's the slip. Almost got up in the wall. But I know what you're saying. The problem is you can't use the whole racetrack. I remember a situation specifically, the 2004 NASCAR All-Star race. Matt Kenseth was trying to go around Ryan Newman and was severely faster than the 12 car at the time. But you need the whole racetrack. I mean, these racetracks are designed so that you use the whole racetrack when you race, especially at Bristol. You're running up against the outside, but you still use all the lanes. And when you're trying to pass someone, unless you're significantly faster, you just cannot use the whole racetrack because you got to go around the other car, obviously. And that's what's hurting the 2 car right now, and he's going to have to abandon his pursuit because he's got to defend a little bit from the 95.
Yeah, I went back in the field as we were talking about that, and this side-by-side again for 8th and 9th right now. Peter Heward and Logan Shea.
I'm watching that for about 10th spot. I'm loving this battle between these guys. Like I said, guys with different amount of damages, different speeds, different tires, and just providing a great race. We've seen week in and week out here in Elite. For sure, the last 3 races have just been fantastic action from about 8th spot through 15th. No matter who's in those positions, it just seems like they're so close in this field that we see great side-by-side action everywhere we go.
Yeah, but speaking of side-by-side action...
Oh, there's a slide back there, the 4 car. Shane DiMantova, he's about 20 laps down, and that's about the 2nd or 3rd time he's got into a lead lap car and almost spun the 4 car right there. Obviously, he has a right to be on the racetrack, but a little bit of respect for these lead lap cars there, you know, racing inside the top 15 for positions because he almost just sent the 4 car around right there.
Yeah,
side by side.
I went back to the lead. The top 3 are real close right now.
Bull's the one that's making time on this group. He's up to 4th spot. He's caught them from about 2.5 seconds back down to 1 second as these guys go through some traffic. He's the only one that's really running the outside. They see the front 3 are down on the white line right now.
Oh, Frankenfield gets past the 59, almost hits the 64 in the process.
He's going to have to work quick. Of course, we just talked about those front 3 in Burrell, another 3.5 or so seconds up the road from Chad. So he's got the time, just about 35 laps to go, but he's going to have to make quick work of Rucker for that to happen.
Yeah, we've got side-by-side for the lead. The 2 and the 88. Two's
Car ahead, that might hurt Adams.
Car.
He's going to clear him.
Oh.
Early slams the door.
Oh, that 89 is going to be used as a pick.
Close.
Oh, Brent Jones.
Adams going to lose out big time.
Yeah, Brent Jones being used as a pick there. Unfortunate for Josh Adams, but it was a great move by Josh Robin.
Perfect execution of using that pick right there to just set him up where he couldn't get the corner exit and was able to just drive right by. What kind of pace Robert Hill has now. He's got clear sailing looking at Josh Robin up in front of him, of course. Robert Hill from the Court Series. I've raced with him a couple of times. Very talented driver, definitely a top 10 runner in that series, and obviously putting on display tonight. Started back in the 8th spot and looking for his first win, and I think it's only his 2nd start. I think last week was his 2nd start, or his 1st start, not his 2nd start. So very new to this series, but making another big impression like we've seen. Oh, Adams is in the wall for that 88 car, fighting so hard for the lead earlier.
He's fell from 1st to 4th now. 32 laps left in this one. Burrell making his way through the field.
Key going another lap down. A lot of damage for last week's winner, unfortunately. And a couple of accidents. Hill still hanging right with Josh Robin. Battles back at about, 7th spot between the 59 and the 00. 00's been another guy that's been on the move. Once he cleared that midfield traffic, he's run down Andrew Rucker and Cody McCorkle so far.
Yeah, but he's not been as fast and impressive as Chad Frankenfield in the 15, a Sealmaster car.
He's been rolling some good lap times. I think he has the time to catch these guys. I'm just not sure he's going to have time to go by them. It's certainly not the tires, obviously. By the time we get there, we're going to be about 80 laps into the tire run. It's going to be very, very difficult to make a pass on the bottom unless a guy is really struggling up top to be able to slide down him,
Speaking of struggling up on the top, the 00 just got by the 59 due to the 59 hitting the wall before. But now he's got him about 3 wide in front of him almost.
Welcome to the Joshua Racing League here, where you have to be named Joshua to run well, as usual.
Oh, yeah. It's absolutely
2 Joshuas, and we still have 5 of them, so... He's kind of settled down up at the front. Robin's still got about a half a second lead on Hill, who's got about a half a second lead on Burrell, who's got about a half second lead on Josh Adams.
You know, Brandon Key might have been, he might have just parked it up for the night. He just went into pit road, and he might be parked up for the night.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he had some motor damage or something. That car was definitely very wounded down in the apron. He might have had a motor issue.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it was, but I just noticed that he was parked up in the pits. 00 gets by the 64. So fur by Rucker.
Lap traffic going to the apron. That's a 9 car.
There's no real side-by-side action. I don't even know how many people in the lead lap. The timing of scoring for me is just not.
14 cars now, sorry. Right in front of the leaders are Clark, Gross, and Logan Shea. About the next 3 seconds in front of our leader, Josh Robin. But right now, 14 cars on lead lap. We still have, I think, 19 cars running on the racetrack with Brandon Key having just peeled off. Actually, 20. I forgot Shane was still out there. And I think Stephen McGough might still be out there. So
I do believe
still got plenty of the field running.
Yeah, I do believe Stephen is out there. Just unfortunate for Brandon Key to, be parking it up.
I know he didn't get a lot of practice. He was at the real Bristol race with another one of my teammates, Chris Jordan. He's not here at all tonight. Had to drive all the way back to Colorado, so wish him safe travels. But he didn't get a lot of practice and be fixed or anything. But, obviously coming off the high of last week, even though it wasn't the way he wanted to win the race, definitely was hoping to run a little better here tonight.
Yeah, and we're 20 laps to go. 19 laps to go, sorry.
Robin's in a lot of traffic right now. He's really going to have to be patient and pick his moves right now because these are starting to be some of the faster race cars. He's not going to just blow by these guys like he would a really damaged car. He's going to have to work on this right now, and he's just really got to pick his moves to be able to not burn the tires off, not make a mistake, because he's got a little bit of a gap to play with right now.
Yeah, quick work of Shane DiMantova. Hopefully going to be a quick work of the 3 of Scott Haney as well.
Three's going to get out of the way right there. Shane's going to get in the wall just a little bit between them. Robert and Ethan still trying to roll the inside line.
Yeah, we've actually got a battle for 9th and 10th between the 29 and 59. 59
Good rebound there for Torres to come back up to the 9th spot. We saw him have a little bit of issue with the wall very early on, but another solid run for obviously very new to the Elite iRacing series and a very tough racetrack tonight, as it's proven for a lot of these guys. So solid top 10 runs for both those guys.
Yeah, Chad Frankenfield actually caught Josh Adams now. 15 laps left in this 15 car going for a top 4.
I'm just really struggling. He must have had a really short run car. We've talked about some of these guys, not calling out Josh Adams or anything, but some tracks, some guys just have a really hard time saving their tires, and it looks like, unfortunately, after leading a lot of laps, it's not going to happen tonight for Adams.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. It's going to suck for him to be leading so many laps. He's going to lead 102 of these things, and he's not going to win this one. Not without another caution, likewise.
Yeah, of course, if we get a caution, anything goes. I'm sure we'd see some 2-tire calls, as much as I hate saying that after last week. But it makes it interesting for sure, and we see, you know, who has the best pit crew. Of course, that'd be the JKR guys. No, but it's definitely interesting to see who tries to play some restart games, because obviously you want to be on the outside line if you're not in the front row for these restarts.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that one.
And now time to have a caution, though. Just about 9 to go, 10 to go when they get back. Robin's starting to put the 03 car lap down. That leaves us with just 11 cars on lead lap, and if we do get a yellow, obviously that would make 12, so not a lot of cars that would have a say in how this thing turns out, even if we did get a yellow at this point.
Well, don't say it. Don't say that. Lap traffic can play a factor still. They can wreck or cause havoc to somebody that's on the lead lap. So.
A pretty clean racetrack for our leaders now, but like you said, obviously the guys back, you know, 7th, 8th, 9th, they're still dealing with this big mess. Run for Burrell up in the back of the 95, actually. That was for second spot. Robert Hill basically pulled up in front of Ethan Burrell right there, and Burrell had a huge run, nowhere to go with it. Chose just to run to the back of Robert.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times now tonight.
They're getting off of turn 2 a lot better in the 95 car. I think Robert's searching around in 1 and 2. They look to be pretty even in 3 and 4, but Ethan's definitely rolling the exit turn 2 a little bit better.
7 laps left in this one. Laps are just ticking off here.
Chad has gotten by Adams right there for the 4th spot.
Yeah, well, the next target for Frankenfield is Burrell.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's got about 4 seconds left there. Here comes Burrell for second. He might just try to make a big move on the inside. Going to be tough down there. That's where Hill's been run, so they kind of switch lanes. Not able to do it yet. Just a couple laps to go here. Going to have to reboot, basically, and try to make the outside line work. Behind them, Stephen McGough is a lap car. So disregard where he's running with these two. That's, of course, helping Josh Robin as he sees 4 to go, which means we cannot get a yellow and impact him like last week with Josh Adams. So no worries there. Just got to keep it straight, avoid Mega up in front of him, and he's going to come home a winner in a couple laps.
Yeah, there's still battles on the racetrack. Got the 64 and 59 trying to decide who's going to finish 10th.
Torres is all over the back of Peter Hayward for 7th, right up in front of them a little bit.
Yeah, a few seconds up the road.
Rucker has really fallen off. He's back to 9th, like you said, with McCorkle up there. The 4 car isn't too far behind them, about a second behind them. So obviously Rucker has had a short run car as well tonight.
Well, Burrell is not wanting that 83 battling with these guys.
I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of chat with the 83 post-race about, you know, racing with the leaders. As the 95 is going to have a big issue right there off of turn 4, but final lap here for the 2 car, going to go around Mega on the outside. The entry from Robert Hill.
Yeah, Josh Robin going to come across
Josh
the line with the winner. The hesitation to do this burnout is great. Oh.
Jeez.
Okay. Fair enough. Don't know if NASCAR is going to like that post-race. All right, let's look at the results here. We got Josh Robin, Robert Hill, Ethan Burrell, Chad Frankenfield, Josh Adams, Josh Furr, Peter Heward, Joe Torres, Andrew Rucker, and Cody McCorkle. You got Jeremy Yancey, Logan Shea, Josh Clark, Jeff Gross, Rusty Capel, Brent Jones, Ethan Reasoner, Scott Haney, David Westergreen. Geez, some of these people have long names. Brandon Key, and then rounding out the field, you got D. Mantova, Mago, Ozantuski, Evanson, Cameron, and Hill. See if we can get some interviews here. Sure we can.
We've got Burrell in here, obviously. We're still waiting on Robin and Hill, so we're going to have to see if they get in.
Let's pull Burrell in here for now. Ethan Burrell, Vic Bloom in the booth. He got me.
Yeah, I gotcha.
I'll let Justin do the questions because I suck at them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, messed up the qualifying run tonight. We talked pre-race, obviously. Maybe it was the peanut butter sandwich. But obviously, a good run for you guys tonight. Keep the points lead, obviously, run up in the top three. Passed a lot of race cars tonight, so tell me about what you had to deal with in the second half of that race with the long runs.
Oh man, it was I smacked the wall in qualifying, so that kind of screwed me. But early on, I started moving up, and I think the 92 happened, hooked me around, and barely stayed on the lead lap. Drove back up, and then went from 15th to third in that second half of that race. And man, I was just trying to pick them off one at a time, sometimes two at a time. I was kind of running a Larson line. I was checking up a lot quicker than everybody else, so I was getting those huge runs down the straights, and I thought I had a shot to win if I could have got second sooner, but just I don't know, it's good battling. It's product of Bristol having lap cars involved in the battle. But man, it was fun trying to pick my way through the field. I wish I would have started closer to the front, could have had a different result, but I'll take it. It was fun.
That seemed like one of the turning points, of course, like you said, driving through some traffic. As the tires wore, it seemed like it was really difficult to pass, but weirdly enough, about halfway, maybe lap 65 or so, we had a caution. About half the field decided to pit. It seemed like the guys that stayed on that strategy ended up staying up front for the time being, and guys like Chad, who came to pit road, had some issues back there. Did you feel like track position was important, or were you just trying to save tires and hoping that was going to be the key?
It definitely was important. I feel like if I could have started, somewhere close to the top five, I could have maybe ran for a win. Obviously, there'd be a lot of different factors, but yeah, it was. I mean, it was. This track invites passing a little more than some of the last couple tracks we've been at, but I mean, it's by the time I got up, like I said, 15th to third, I was toast. I mean, that was all I could do was just run into the back of second place. I tried to duck low once and just completely anchored. So I was really just hoping that, that late in the run they would maybe slip up and I could get to the top of them, and I felt good. But yeah, no, it was tough for sure. After going through the field like that, it was really hard to pass there at the end.
Of course, man. Obviously, looked good. Probably passed just about the most cars tonight. Moved up 12 spots from where you started. Who have you got to thank for getting that 37 car out there, and of course with that brand new paint scheme tonight?
Oh yeah, definitely got to thank JK Racing, of course, Mr. Justin here, signing me onto the team about a month back, and it's had a lot of success since then. I'm still waiting to bring another checkered home for the team, and also thanks to Vic for painting me the Domino's car. I'm actually a delivery driver for him, so represent the workplace. And congrats to Josh Robin. I've seen a win for him coming for the past couple weeks, so I'm pretty happy for him to finally get it.
All right, thanks, Ethan. I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, thank you. See ya.
See what I did there, Vic? I got both of us plugged in there.
Yeah, I did see that. You want to get? I'll move Robert in here. You can interview him.
Robert Hill, Justin Krasneski up in the booth. You got me.
Yeah, I got you.
Obviously, a little bit of an interesting night. We didn't really get to call your name a lot in in the first 50 laps. Sorry, started eighth, kind of hung around fourth or fifth, and then seemed like after that last caution, I believe about lap 65, your car came to life and moved up to second or third and kind of just stayed there. And what did you think about run tonight? Was it a track position thing or a tires thing? And did you think with some more time or something you could have had a shot at Robin for the win?
I don't think I had a shot at Josh there at the end. He was really figuring it out on those old tires. I didn't really have much more in it. Ethan was beating my bumper off, which was awesome. But yeah, I think it was definitely a lot about the tires, just being able to kind of hold on to it a bit more there than some of the other guys, and just being able to run in the top five, top three most of the night was definitely helpful.
Of course, obviously, you're one of the newer members of the Elite Racing League, but I've known you from court and some other things in the past. But what are your expectations week to week being new here and obviously having a great run like tonight?
Yeah, I definitely I'm using this as a opportunity to learn more and get out there, race with some different people, different attitudes and whatnot. Just improve on myself and my driving, and I'm definitely excited to be here. I think it's a great group, and I definitely look forward to next season and being able to run full time with these guys.
Of course, we look forward to having you. The more the merrier, obviously. And who have you got to thank for getting that 95 car out on track tonight?
Yeah, we got Mike's Hard Lemonade on the car. I got to thank Mike Husby, my painter, Jeff Gross, Cody McCorkle, my teammates. They were definitely helpful tonight, and you guys for putting on the great broadcast. Chad and his team for the series, and just everyone that tuned in tonight.
All right, thanks, Robert. We appreciate you stopping by, and we hope to talk to you soon.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys in Victory Lane soon.
I like his optimism right there. I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, I'm all for that. We'll get Josh Robin in here. Of course, you can conduct the interview again.
Schraub and Justin Krasneski up in the booth. You got me.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, obviously, first off, congratulations on the big win tonight. Ran up front for a lot of the race, started just outside the top 5, and with about 50 or so laps to go, it seemed like the 88 car fell off a little bit, but you were steady, cool as a cucumber staying up front, and obviously you came back with the win, so tell me a little bit about how your night went.
Yeah, I'd say it went pretty great. Started 6th place and hung in the top 5 basically the whole race, and after there's like one of the cautions, the 15th Chad, he pitted, and that put me up in the 2nd, and I pretty much hung in there for like a while. Then we had that last restart, and man, after that last restart, me and the 88 were battling really good there for a lot, like 20 laps or so, I don't know. And I was starting to get a little impatient, but finally got by him. I think his tires were getting worn out a little bit faster than mine, so yeah, I got by him and pretty much just went on to the checkered flag.
We've seen you, Vic and I and a couple other guys, obviously Ethan just mentioned it when he was in here, we've seen you run up front week in and week out here, and we knew this win was coming for you in these B cars for a long time, and what's it feel like to get it, and did you think that tonight would be the night? Is this one of your stronger tracks?
Yeah, Bristol, I love Bristol, so yeah, I was pretty confident coming in here tonight, and yeah, after, the first 4 races in this league, I had like 3 second place finishes, so I was expecting my first win to come soon, and I'd say tonight was pretty perfect for Bristol. I love this place.
Of course, obviously, when you feel that confident about a place, if you get any kind of glimmer of a chance to win, usually you perform pretty well. What are you looking forward to as far as the rest of the season and possibly making a chase at this championship when we get a couple months down the road?
Yeah, I don't know, I feel pretty good for the rest of the season. Not sure what the rest of the schedule looks like, but just gotta keep it smooth and clean and do the best I can, stay out of trouble.
All right, of course. And who have you got to thank for getting that 2-car, the Mustang, out on track every week?
Well, I gotta thank you guys for broadcasting and all the viewers that tuned in to watch, everybody that showed up to race, and Chad and the admins that run this league. It's pretty fun racing, and that's about it.
All right, thanks, Josh. Obviously, congratulations on the big win, and we hope to see you back up here soon.
All right, thank you.
Well, Vic, 150 laps tonight, thanks to Homeplace Beer for sponsoring tonight's race, obviously with Scott Haney. But what did we see? We saw a lot of what we expected. We had about 15 lap runs, like you said at the beginning of the first 2 runs, and then about 20 or 25 laps of basically just straight caution fest, and then about a 75 lap or 80 lap run on tires where we saw some comers and goers to end this thing. So I thought we saw a pretty good overall race. But what do you think about tonight?
Yeah, it was a good race. It was a lot better than I expected it to go, but I mean, I shouldn't have expected much else. This league has shown the last number of weeks that they don't do many cautions. Very clean drivers, very clean field. Probably shouldn't have expected as many cautions as I expected.
I think we overstated them a little bit. Obviously, that happens. Sometimes you just get weird races here. The thing I'm taking away most from this, Vic, is that week in and week out, regardless of the track, we saw that the big 2-miler at Auto Club a few weeks ago, and we saw it again here tonight. That mid-pack from like 7th or 8th spot through even as far back as 15th every week, regardless of who's back there, what tire strategies. We see some great side-by-side and even sometimes 3-wide racing from the mid-pack in the series.
Yeah, I think the mid-pack is definitely where the show is at, but, the fast guys up front definitely put on a show as well.
Yeah, of course, next week we're somewhere. I don't know. I didn't memorize the schedule like you did.
I don't have the schedule memorized. I have it next to me somewhere in my papers.
We're somewhere next week.
We are somewhere next week. I believe we are. Where are they at next week in NASCAR?
Richmond, right? I don't know if we're actually going there. I don't know what the schedule is. I know in 2 weeks I think we're going to Roval.
We're going to Richmond next week, and then the Charlotte Roval, and then Talladega, then Dover, then Coda. So that'll be fun.
Okay. So anyways, obviously we're going to Richmond, another short track, but a little bit of a different short track. The killer off of turn 2 at Richmond is going to be similar to what we saw a few weeks ago with some tracks with the wall being an issue. But as far as reflecting on tonight and looking forward to next week, should we see more of the same being in another short track, or are we going to see a little bit of a different race next week?
You know, I think we're actually going to see a different race next week. I think it's going to race more like they have on the mile and a half, where it's going to be a very green race. Richmond just provides that, and there's enough track there, like width-wise, so you can have good racing and get away with, some bold moves that wouldn't have worked at Bristol.
Of course, I think obviously we've just about covered everything for tonight. The big thing that we're going to have, Vic and I, of course, to take away and hopefully have more information in next week and the coming weeks is going to be obviously the Cup Series coming on Wednesdays, so the Elite Racing Series. Xfinity is going to stay on Mondays. We're going to have more information as far as broadcasters, race times, finalized schedules, stuff like that in the coming weeks. But other than that, Vic, anything we need to cover before we get out here?
No, I don't think we have anything more to cover, to be honest. I think that you went over it all right there. We don't have much information as far as next season, what races for sure we'll broadcast, what races we won't. But in the coming weeks, we'll hopefully have that information.
All right, sounds good. You heard the boss man. We'll get some more information out to you. But for Vic, obviously, putting on the broadcast, doing the great camera work, thanks to him. Thanks to Chad for putting on the league. Thanks to Scott Haney, like I said, for sponsoring tonight's race. This has been the Homeplace Beer 150 at Bristol. For Vic Bloom, I'm Justin Krasneski. We will see you next week in Richmond.